In foreign countries, divers often catch burrow-dwelling crabs along the West Coast, especially in states like California, Oregon, and Washington. This is a common activity, but requires proper skills and equipment. Below are the basic steps that divers typically follow. Diving gear. When diving in cold waters, divers usually wear wetsuits or dry suits to stay warm and protect their bodies. A snorkel and mask allow them to breathe and see underwater, while fins help them move more efficiently. A mesh or fabric bag is used to hold the caught crabs. Gloves protect the hands when handling crabs, as burrow crabs have strong claws. Site selection. Divers often choose nearshore areas with rocks or reefs, as these are common hiding spots for burrow crabs. The best time to dive is in winter or early spring when crabs are in season and more active. Diving and catching technique. Divers must approach the crabs slowly to avoid scaring them away, then gently grab them by hand or with tools and quickly place them into the bag. These scenes were captured on different days. I realize that the footage I recorded isn't always perfect, and I apologize for that. The video and audio quality may not be the best. However, my main goal is simply to document and collect crabs that meet the legal size requirement, typically about 6.25 inches, 15.9 centimeter across. Regulations and environmental protection. Many states have clear regulations regarding how many crabs divers are allowed to catch per day. Only male crabs can be harvested, and they must meet the minimum size requirements to help maintain the crab population. Female crabs, especially those carrying eggs, must be released. Diving for burrow crabs is an exciting and rewarding experience, but following local regulations and respecting the natural environment is crucial to ensure sustainability. Catching crabs, especially burrow crabs, requires specialized knowledge and skills to do so safely and effectively. Here's a more detailed guide on diving techniques and procedures. Before diving, divers need to thoroughly research the site, including depth, currents, water temperature, and crab presence. Popular dive spots are typically near shore areas with rocks or seagrass beds where burrow crabs prefer to live. For deep dives, scuba tanks are necessary to provide enough air for extended time underwater. As for suits, dry suits are often preferred in cold water as they offer better insulation than wet suits. Dive lights are essential for illuminating and spotting crabs during night dives or in murky waters. A dive knife is a safety tool used for situations like getting tangled in seaweed or fishing nets. When beginning a dive, divers need to breathe steadily and move slowly to avoid stirring up sediment or startling the crabs. Crabs often hide in rock crevices, seagrass, or sand, so divers must carefully observe signs such as tracks in the sand or parts of a crab's body protruding from its hiding place. Upon spotting a crab, divers should approach from behind or at an angle where the crab has limited visibility, as crabs can move quickly when they feel threatened. The most common method is to grab the crab firmly from behind to avoid getting pinched. If unsure or when crabs are in hard-to-reach spots, thick gloves, a net, or crab-catching tools can be used for added safety. After capturing a crab, divers must check its size and gender to comply with regulations. Only male crabs that meet the size requirement should be kept. Female crabs, especially those carrying eggs, must be released. During the dive, safety and environmental protection are essential. Divers must avoid harming other marine life or destroying crab habitats. Catch limits must be followed to prevent overharvesting. Diving skills should be practiced regularly, especially when diving in deep waters or areas with strong currents. Divers must pay attention to weather and tides and avoid diving during high waves, strong winds, or extreme tides. Diving with a buddy is often safer, as they can assist with both crab catching and emergencies. Diving for burrow crabs is a challenging but rewarding activity that requires good diving skills, patience, and an understanding of the crab's natural behavior. The best times to dive for crabs are at dawn or dusk, when crabs are most active and less disturbed. 1 to 2 hours after low tide is also ideal, as crabs tend to move around more and are easier to find. Burrow crabs are highly adaptive and usually hide beneath sand or rocks to avoid predators. Divers should look for signs like trails in the sand or cracks and ledges on the seafloor. When threatened, crabs may retreat into crevices or burrow under the sand, so divers must be patient and act quickly when the crab is visible. In dark or nighttime conditions, a dive light is crucial not only for visibility, but also to temporarily stun crabs, making them less likely to escape. Lights should be used gently to avoid startling them. Crabs should be grabbed from behind, firmly but not forcefully, to prevent injury. For larger crabs or those in tricky spots, both hands may be needed for better control. In areas with mild currents, divers can use the flow to their advantage, conserving energy and air while staying in position longer. Divers must remain alert at all times to avoid hazards like entanglement in old fishing nets, collisions with underwater objects, or getting stuck in crevices. When using scuba tanks, it's important to monitor air levels regularly and plan to surface with enough time to do so safely. When diving with a buddy, hand signals are vital for underwater communication. Both divers should understand essential signals for help, danger, or ending the dive. If a diver feels tired, dizzy, or experiences any unusual symptoms, they should immediately stop the dive and surface safely. Once on the surface, divers should check the number and size of crabs to ensure all regulations have been followed. Caught burrow crabs should be placed immediately into cold seawater to keep them fresh. Many divers use containers filled with seawater and ice to preserve the crabs until they return to shore. Some areas require reporting the number of crabs caught, so always follow local regulations to protect resources and avoid penalties. Burrow crabs are highly valued for their taste and nutritional value. After being caught, crabs can be cooked into many delicious dishes, such as steamed, grilled, or stir-fried with spices. Crab diving is an enjoyable activity that many people are passionate about. Sharing experiences and results with the diving community can bring joy and offer opportunities to learn new techniques. Crab diving not only requires good diving skills, but also patience, knowledge of crab behavior, and thorough preparation. With the techniques and tips above, you can increase your chances of catching large, tasty burrow crabs while enjoying a safe and memorable dive. Crab traps are a common and effective method, especially for species like burrow crabs. They are inexpensive, easy to set up, and do not require too much skill. Below is a detailed guide on how to use traps to catch crabs. Crab traps are simple, lightweight, round cages with 2 stacked steel or plastic rings. When dropped into the water, the rings open to form a basket, and when pulled up, the rings close to hold the crabs. Pot-style traps are the most common and effective, shaped like boxes or cages with 1 or 2 entrances that allow crabs to enter but prevent them from escaping. Box-style traps are rectangular or square cages with one-way entrances, causing crabs to get trapped once inside. As for bait, fresh fish or squid are crabs' favorite foods, especially mackerel or sardines. Fresh fish or chicken meat are also popular, easy to find, and attractive to crabs. Animal organs like liver or intestines can also be used to lure crabs. Supporting tools include pull ropes attached to the traps for easy lowering and retrieval. It's best to use sturdy rope such as paracord or nylon. Marker buoys are attached to the end of the rope to easily locate dropped traps. Choose bright-colored buoys and write your name or phone number for identification. Flashlights or lighting devices are essential when crabbing at night to see the traps and work more easily. Choose a location near shore, with rocks, seagrass, or sand, as these are places where crabs often live and move around. The ideal depth is from 3 to 15 meters, where burrow crabs usually stay close to the seabed. The best time to set traps is after low tide, when crabs are more active in searching for food. Night or early morning is also when crabs are more active, helping to increase the chances of catching more. Place the bait in the center of the trap or in a separate compartment, making sure it is securely fixed so it won't be lost when dropped into the water. Lower the trap slowly using the pull rope, adjusting the speed so it lands gently on the seabed. Attach the buoy to the end of the rope and release it into the water, making sure it floats and is easy to identify. After 1 to 3 hours, you can retrieve the trap or leave it overnight if set in the evening and retrieved early the next morning. Pull the trap up slowly to avoid scaring the crabs and letting them escape, and keep the rope straight so the trap doesn't flip. Check the trap to see how many crabs have been caught. If the number is insufficient, you can reposition the trap in another location. Measure the crabs to ensure they meet the minimum size requirement, which is typically 6.25 inches, 15.9 cm Mercian width for burrow crabs. Release female crabs, especially those carrying eggs, to help preserve the crab population. Caught crabs should be stored in containers filled with cold seawater or ice to keep them fresh. Do not leave crabs out of the water or under direct sunlight for too long, as this can cause them to die and affect meat quality. Each area has specific regulations regarding minimum size, daily catch limits, and the types of traps allowed. So be sure to research and comply with local rules to avoid fines and help protect marine resources. Traps must be clearly marked with your name and contact information, especially in crowded areas. When placing traps, avoid damaging coral reefs, seagrass beds, or other marine life, and always clean up any waste after you're done. Using crab traps is an effective and enjoyable way to catch delicious crabs while spending relaxing time by the sea. Crabs can be enjoyed immediately after cooking, paired with salt, pepper, lime, fish sauce, or seafood dipping sauces of your choice. The meat is sweet, tender, and retains its natural flavor. Other popular crab dishes include crispy fried crab, made by sprinkling with salt and frying quickly to enhance the crunch. Sweet and sour crab, made by stir-frying crab meat with sugar and spices. Garlic butter crab, sautéed with butter, garlic, and seasonings to create a rich, aromatic flavor. When eating crab, use scissors or a small knife to cut through the shell carefully to avoid damaging the meat. The juice inside the shell is flavorful and nutritious and can be used as a dipping sauce or enjoyed with the meat. If not eaten right away, crabs can be stored in the refrigerator for 1 to 2 days. Wrap them in foil or plastic wrap and reheat by steaming or boiling to retain moisture and flavor. Boiled crab is a simple yet delicious preparation that keeps the meat's natural sweetness intact. With the right seasonings, you'll have a meal that is both nutritious and satisfying. At the end of the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next video.